Okay, guys, let's go ahead and get started. I practically begged you guys to jump on the builders training tonight, and okay. So practically begged you guys to jump on the builders training tonight. I appreciate that. I am going to keep it down to. I promised I would not go long tonight. I do feel like it's a pretty important message. It's actually a message that's kind of been burning in me for, probably for the last 4 or 5 weeks. You know, I really, I think it was last week or week before last that I talked about desire. And, you know, desire is really the way to remove any obstacle in your business. You know, I told everybody that I could guarantee them, you know, like I can guarantee you that I can get you to do 15 appointments this week, you know, and the way I'll guarantee it is that I would give you $10,000, you know, if you went out there and you sat with 15 people. Well, there's not a single person on our group me. I don't even care if you're not even licensed. See, if I told you, hey, I want you to go sit down with 15 people and I want you to talk to them about mortgage protection or just talk to them about life insurance and living benefits. You go sit down with 15 people, I'm going to give you $10,000. See, all of a sudden, nobody would be thinking, well, I'm not even licensed. I'm not even contracted with GPM. You know, GPM, had my contract now for 34 years, and they hadn't, you know, you wouldn't be thinking about that. If I said you go sit down with 15 people, I'm going to give you $10,000, you wouldn't think about anything else but how do I get in front of 10 to 15, or how do I get in front of 15 people? And the truth is, it's just not that hard. So if $10,000, now there's not a single person on here that wouldn't do it for $10,000, but if you said, well, John, I wouldn't do it for $10,000. Well, you do it for 50, you do it for 100,000. In other words, there's a price that you would do it for. And the cool thing is that those of us that have that thought process, and we don't get involved in negative thoughts and thinking, and we don't let the ebbs get us. You know, we're not frustrated because Equus is contracted out with a new and exciting technology firm, and the fact that there's some things that we're some growing pains because we're remodeling our kitchen right now. You know, it's not the end of the world for us. Like, come on, it's not that big a freaking deal, right? And but it's amazing people's thought process, which has kind of led me to this message tonight. So again, if I happen to offend you tonight, my goal is not to offend you, but my goal is to get this message out very, very precisely and to communicate it very concisely. If that makes sense. Okay, so something our pastor talked about on Sunday, and it was just really neat that he talked about this because of the message that was already burning inside of me. So our pastor said, are your greatest days behind you or in front of you? Are your greatest days behind you or in front of you? When your memories exceed your dreams, your end is near. When your memories exceed your dreams, your end is near. When where you've been is more important than where you're going, you, my friend, are freaking in trouble. You're in trouble. When where you've been, when your past success, when it ain't going to get no better, and all you talk about is the glory days. Remember that Bruce Springsteen song, Glory Days, da-da-da-da, glory days. Yep, you're in trouble. Tell you what, my best days are not behind me. I'm 51 years old. My best days, it's not even close. Not even close. So if that does describe you, if you're kind of very close, if you're teetering on that line of maybe my best days are behind me, okay, that is a complacency problem. And I'm not sure that I shouldn't say that there's not a cure for it, because I'm sure there probably is. I'm just not the one to solve that. Okay. Change in the website. Change personally, change in anything. Do you embrace it or do you dread it? See, what we can't do, guys, is we can't be Blockbuster. You remember Blockbuster? Yeah, the company that's now extinct. Why? Because they absolutely refused to look at the direction that people were going from a media standpoint. They refused. Oh no, they're never going to go away from videos and well, I tell you what, let's go right around Raleigh and see how many Blockbusters we find. People that fail to recognize and embrace change, they do go the way of the dinosaur. People that succeed the most are the most reluctant to change. I mean, that's true. I mean, people that have had the most success in their lives, they're the most reluctant to change. But what we have to know is that for most of us, what got us here won't get us there. You know, there's a great book, and I think his name is Marshall Goldsmith. I probably should have dug it out. It's an absolutely fantastic book. And the name of the book is What Got You Here Won't Get You There. But the basis of that book talks about how entrepreneurs, they manhandle it, and they go out there and they do everything. Like they make their own phone calls, they do their own appointments, and they do this and they do that. They develop a tremendous success from a sales standpoint because they're entrepreneurs and they're good at what they do. And then they get to a certain point where they're like, nobody can do what they do as good as they can do it. So what got you here won't get you there. Well, where's here? Here's where you're out there and you're making $250,000, $300,000 a year as a personal producer, but you don't want to work and sell insurance for the rest of your life, and so you want to get here. Where's here? Here is regional manager with maybe 3 regional managers, and you're making double equity bonus. And in 2 years from now, that double equity bonus is going to be somewhere between $25,000 and $30,000 a month. $25,000 to $30,000 a month every 30 days. So what got you here doing everything and not learning how to delegate and not learning how to build people and grow people and all that, what got you here won't get you there. And so we have to go through a whole metamorphosis, a whole change in order to grow and to make that leap. If you believe your best days are yet to come, you must embrace change and run from comfort. You must run from it. Run from it. Anything in your life that is comfortable for a season of your life, you must run from it, because comfort, there is no growth there. And I do fear that some of you guys, you've had way too much success to ever even think about getting uncomfortable again, and that makes me sad, because you will get left behind. Daily habits, your dream. Being unrelatable to normal people. That's always a self-check, isn't it? That's always an interrogation of reality. Like, how unrelatable am I based on what I do every week? How unrelatable am I to the normal person? I've always taken an incredible amount of joy that I am so unrelatable to normal people. I'm smiling because I'm telling you, man, oh my goodness, if you even knew, like, I don't want to be relatable in the miles that I drive, where I go do my personal sales. Like, man, I ain't relatable to you. Because, man, and again, I say this, I don't want to offend anybody, but you know what? I don't want my income to be relatable. I tell you, my dream is just, it's still massive. It still blows my mind, and sometimes that's a burden. That's not always. I don't say that from like that's a great thing. It actually is tough. And maybe I'll talk about that on one of the upcoming Zoom meetings, but right now it's probably more emotional than I want to talk about, but it's tough. It's tough when you are burdened with a big dream, and I'm getting ready to talk about that because that's going to be one of my main talks or reasons for this talk tonight. But your daily habits, your dream level, and being unrelatable to normal people. Let's see here. I want to make sure I don't forget anything. Got notes written down like on 5 different cards here. So strong, independent thinking leaders. That's what we want. We my dream is a regional manager producing factory. I want to mentor and coach people in developing strong regional manager teams. I want to mentor and coach people that are strong, independent thinking leaders. So I tell you what, before I do that, I do want to do this. We hardly ever talk about personal responsibility. We hardly ever talk about that. And it's a difficult thing to talk about because we are all self-employed. Nobody works for anybody. And so, but I feel a tremendous personal responsibility, even though I don't work for Barry. I don't necessarily work for Equus, but there's a personal responsibility I feel toward Barry Clarkson and toward Equus, and that if I were to put my finger on what is the personal responsibility I feel on a daily basis, it is to grow. Like every 3 months, I want measurable growth. Every 90 days, I want measurable growth. And a lot of my growth is focused on my base shop. And it's going to stay on my base shop until we get about 10, I'd say somewhere between 10 to 12 direct regional managers. And once we get 10 to 12 direct regional managers, I do want to change my focus, and I want to start really building and really focus 100% of my efforts on building downline regional managers, building strong downline relationships, really at that income level to really be able to do some cool things from a financial standpoint, to be able to charter an airplane and to be able to go do some cool things. I know there's a certain segment of people out there that would absolutely love to go play golf at Pebble Beach for 2 to 3 days. I know there's a certain segment of people that would love to go hunting and fishing some different places. And so it's going to be neat to be able to do some things, but I have to make sure that my family is taken care of before I start that. So, and it's not that I don't have a focus on downline regional managers now. I do. I'm just saying that at some point in time, more and more of my focus will be on my downline regional managers, more so than my personal regional managers. I do feel like right now we've got represented. I feel like, now this may not be true, and I'm fooled all the time, but I feel like right now we've got 10 to 11 frontline awesome people that I really do feel like they're in the process of going regional manager. Would I like to kick their fanny and get them going a little bit faster? Well, maybe after tonight's call they will, but yes, absolutely. But I do feel like they will be frontline regional managers. I do feel like that's why they're here at Equus Financial. And so personal responsibility, I do think that you should feel personal responsibility. And if you don't, I would question why you don't feel a personal responsibility to grow. There's a heck of a lot that's given to us from Equus Financial, that most other IMOs out there charge for and stuff. I just feel like that, man, we've got the greatest opportunity to go out there and absolutely change our lives and change other people's lives. Our culture is growth. Our mission is too important. And the thing about it is that I feel like that once people make the jump from recruiting and like quit focusing on building your team, quit focusing on recruiting people to build your team and to build your income, and start focusing on the greater mission. I mean, there's people out there dying, man. There's people all around you that live in your neighborhood that go drink coffee at your coffee shop, that eat at the same restaurants you eat at, that go participate in the same T-ball leagues your kids do. They're dying out there. They've been taught how to be broke, and they're out there working a stupid job, working for a boss that they don't like, and all they need is for somebody just to reach out with an opportunity. Sadly, most of them, they end up joining some stupid daggum network marketing company that you got to go recruit 55,000 people in order to make $300. But why do they join it? Because it's the only friggin' person that goes out there and offers them an opportunity. Quite frankly, isn't it true? Isn't it true? It's amazing how network marketing companies, they can have a standing room only at their opportunity meetings. And the sad fact is, if you look around our country, you look at our opportunity meetings, it's a sad showing when you compare it to the network marketers out there. And I don't think it should be that way. Our culture's growth. Our mission is too important. There are people dying out there, divorce rates, things like that. Bankruptcies. There's a greater mission out there. My job, I feel like, is to keep the mission in front of you, not to make you comfortable. It's to keep the mission in front of you. I'm not giving my life for a social club. I'm just not doing it. I'm 51 years old. I'm going to be 52 this coming December. I believe that my best days are ahead of me. I believe our collectively, our best days are ahead of us. And I'm just, man, my prayers, just give me some people who will just absolutely just dream as wild and as crazy as anybody, man. Like, come on, like wild and crazy. Wake up every day with a dream, be motivated, pray to be bold, pray to be courageous. And just absolutely know that you've got a message and you've got a mission every day that you live. And we've got a mission field out there. We've got a world that's hurting out there. So my question to you is, what's your level of engagement? And if it's anything other than all in, man, I just feel sorry for you, because I can't think of anything worse to be around or anything worse to be in if I'm not all in. If I'm just a casual, like I'm gonna act like I'm all in, but I'm really not all in. Like man, I think that's painful. And I do see people that live that live through their business like that, and again, their growth shows it. Your action level, it follows hope. And if you don't have tremendous expectation and hope for your future, then that's another gut check. Like that's a dream level. That's an action check. There's so many things that you and I can talk about right there. If you go, oh, that's me right there. Action level is determined by your hope level. Where's your hope level? Hope high, activity extremely high. Hope low, activity not so much. So what's your dream? Seriously, what is it? Before I get into telling you why you're not growing, what is your dream? Is your dream financial freedom? What income level is that? Is your dream no job? No job, no job, no boss. Don't have to wake up and go write business anymore. Not to say that you won't, because listen, man, we love going out there writing business, right? Is your dream to have resources to bless others? How cool would it be to have enough money to just literally be able to go out there and bless people? Do you have churches? Do you have ministries? Do you have charities? Do you have things like that that you'd really have a heart for? Is your dream to be able to look up one day and to see so many people better off because of your boldness to go out there and offer it to people? Because of your example that people followed, people fell in love with you, people would run through a brick wall for you? Is that what your dream is? I don't know what your dream is, but I hope that you know, and I pray that your dream absolutely makes you pray for boldness. Pray for boldness. So our mission is to go out there and get our message to people who are lost, people that need it. We've got a business that changes lives, and our mission is to go out there and just offer it to people, not shove it down their throat, not spear chunk them and hog time. That's not our mission. Is to go out there and just simply be bold with our message, living benefits and business ownership. Okay, so I do know that if you're on this call and you do consider yourself a builder, I do think that a common denominator of all builders is that they do have a dream to train and coach and mentor other business builders, right? And so one of the things that I talked about today on the video that I shot, and one of the things that I've advertised is I really feel like if you're growing, you need to know why you're growing. Because if you know why you're growing, you're always going to know how to keep your momentum at certain levels. You don't ever want to find yourself with no momentum. I mean, I want you guys to think about it. I don't know how to define momentum other than to say that when you don't have it, every action that you take it just seems hard. It's every day. It just seems hard. It's hard to go out there. It's hard to make that next phone call. It's just hard. If you don't have any momentum, it's hard. It's like you're pushing that rock, and that rock is stationary, and it's just hard. I don't want to go back and push that rock because I'm worn out pushing that rock. But man, if you ever get that rock, if you ever get it rocking a little bit and you just lean into it a little bit, and if you ever get that thing rolling, man, the work that it takes getting that big old rock rolling, man, you don't ever want it to stop. You don't want to ever go through trying to get that thing from stationary. And so when you have momentum, the activities that you do, it's just easier. It's better. You know, so I don't know how to define it other than to say it. I'm just saying that it's just, man, when you have momentum, you don't ever want to go back to not having any momentum. So I do know one of the common denominators is that we all want to train, coach business builders. And so you need to know why you're growing. You need to know why you're not growing. So how to grow. Okay, so you can give yourself a self-check. There's 3 areas that you got to pay attention to grow. How to grow. Number 1 is physical. Number 1 is physical. And so if you're not growing, I can tell you this. If you're not growing, it's because you simply don't want to. You don't want it bad enough. And don't get offended at me telling you the truth, because I love you. But if you're not growing, it ain't because of nothing other than you just simply don't want to. And I wish I could want it for you. I wish I could give a little bit of how bad I want it for you to start thinking about your business, to start manhandling your growth, to take dominion over your life and over your circumstances, and stop being so willy-nilly. And wake up and be a man, or wake up and be a woman and take dominion over the stuff you need to take dominion over and grow. I can't do that for you, though. You got to do it. And if you're not growing, it's because of you. Just look in the mirror and say, you know what, and take full responsibility, because I'm going to tell you what, until you do, you ain't going to grow. So there's 3 levels. Number 1 is physical. It's just doing the physical numbers. How many numbers are you doing? Are you out there interviewing 10 to 15 people a week? I mean, what's hard about asking people, hey, are you open to making some money? You can do it off of your mortgage protection leads or sales. You can do it at gas stations. You can do it at coffee shops. You can go eat breakfast 1 or 2 mornings a week. And heck, that's going to be good enough to at least ask 2 or 3 different waitresses or waiters if they're open to making money. That's easy. That's easy. But how many people are you asking the question, are you open to making some money sideline and separate from what you're already doing? How many times a week are you asking the question? Some of you don't know because you don't want to know, because it's like, man, I'm not hardly doing that. Some of you might be doing that so much, it's like, John, man, how can I ever tell? I just know that in the height of my growing in my career, I couldn't tell you that number, because it's like, I mean, I do it every hour of every day. It's such a habit. Like, I'm always asking people. So what's better for me, instead of charting how many times I ask the question, what's better for me is to tell you how many people I actually interview. Like when I get my number where I'm interviewing 10 to 15 young, sharp, productive, local married couples, like, my business is growing, man. My business is growing. Yeah, but John, why do you just want to hire local people? It ain't going to get saturated. You don't understand depth. You don't understand that hiring locally takes you at depth. Going out there and running 50,000 ZipRecruiter ads in Utah, you ain't going to grow. You're not going to hire width for you in Utah or Arizona. Hire locally and work through those people. Those people know the people you need to know through depth anyway. So how to grow? Number 1 is just physical. Are you doing the physical work? Some of you are, some of you aren't. Number 2 is personal. Personal, becoming the type of person that people want to be in business with. Ooh, let me say that again. See, some of y'all, you tell me you want to grow, but you're the same person that you were 5 years ago. You're the same person that you're not growing any. You still have the same conversations. You never bring up any book titles. You never you never send messages about, I'm so excited, I just read this. Man, this just a game changer. Like, man, you can tell people that are growing, and you can tell people that are stagnant. So number 1 is physical. Are you doing the work? Number 2 is personal. Are you becoming the type of person people want to be in business with? Develop some consequences for being stupid. When you develop consequences for being stupid, you'll start changing, and you'll stop being stupid, and you'll start becoming the type of person people want to be in business with. Having a magnetic personality. We talk about it almost every single builder's call. Encourage, respect, and edify people. Encourage, respect, and edify people. Don't criticize, condemn, or complain. Encourage, respect, and edify people. Let people talk. People's favorite speaker is themselves. They're 10,000 times more interested in themselves than they are in anybody else, including you. Make people feel important. People walk around with a red blinking light on their forehead. Make me feel important today. Learn how to make people feel important. Remember their names. Be agreeable. Develop people skills. Bring out the best in people. Learn how to be balcony people. Learn how to raise people up. Learn how to appreciate people. Raise in value. And then number 3 is spiritual. Yeah, I know, John. Man, you talk about that all the time, man. I tell you, man, I just wish you quit talking about it, because, man, it's just, man, you talk about spiritual stuff way too much. Well, I think that at some point in time in our businesses, I do see people that just get started with us, and you know, they go out there and they're babes in this business, and you know, they grow, they go sales manager, they may even go regional manager, and they do it on sheer excitement. They do it on sheer work. Are they developing themselves a little bit? Yeah, maybe a little bit, but you know, they kind of come into the business already developed. You know, maybe they were a professional athlete, maybe they were a professional, whether they were a banker or a mortgage guy or something like that. And you know, there's a whole bunch of them out there. You know, I'm thinking about Tony Pompili and Dave Schneider and Ryan Dobner and you know, those guys. You know, they come in the business, man. They were professional, and it's like self-image wise, they're already up a notch. You know, and it's like, man, that's who we need to look at hiring, right? Yeah, I mean, so. But people come into this business and they simply grow to a certain levels based on just pure physical work, and being personally just being at a good self-image level, right? A lot of times they do it through their warm markets because they've got credibility with people. But I will tell you, I do feel like that there's a point in time in our business where I feel like that if we're ever going to get to new levels, if we're ever going to get to the bigger levels, I believe that growth is going to have to be spiritual. And so, you know, to use a swimming pool analogy, you know, if you're on the surface of the pool, you know, all you do is hear a bunch of yip yapping. You know, you just hear a bunch of people up there because everybody's on the surface of the pool, right? And you know, you just hear a bunch of voices up there. But you know, if you dive, you remember as a kid when you would dive down into the deep end of the pool. And I remember growing up as a kid, we would at the deep end of the family swimming pool where we went, like it was a badge of honor if you could dive down and go touch the drain. Man, if you could go take your hand and go touch the drain, man, it's like, man, your ears start like hurting. Like as kids, we thought like that was the death zone. Like if you went another inch, man, you would just your brains would explode and all that. So it was a big fear factor. But, man, when you went down there and touched that drain and came back up, man, I mean, your friends looked at you different. Man, they were like, dude, did you touch that drain? I touched the drain. Man, couldn't, man, that was like, when they started calling you crazy, you knew, man, that was the height of edification, man. But I'm gonna tell you what, when you dive down and you go deep in that pool and you go deep in water, you can't hear those yip yappers. You can't hear anybody else's voice but your voice. It's quiet down there. So I'm inviting you guys to get away from the surface of the pool. Get away from all the yip yappers. Go deep. Go deeper. You know, from a spiritual standpoint, in Matthew chapter 6:33, it says, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven. Seek first the kingdom of heaven. Seek first. Seek first the kingdom of heaven. And all these things that you and I want will be given to you. That's pretty cool. Like that's worth meditating on. Joshua 1:8 says, this book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth. So shall not leave thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate on it day and night. Thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. For then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success. Like that's worth meditating on. Was thinking about Psalm 1, 1 through 3. Now listen to this. Blessed is the man that walks not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor stands in the way of sinners, nor sits in the seat of the scornful. But his delight, remember, we're talking about the blessed. We want to be blessed, right? His delight is in the law of the Lord. And in his law, he meditates day and night. So what's meditating? It's thinking about it. It's writing it down and just thinking about it. Like it's writing down Joshua 1:8, and it's just thinking about it. It's saying it in your mouth, and it's just listening to it, saying it over and over, and just like it's like feeding on it. It's just like if you 3 o'clock in the afternoon when you grab that RX bar and you're just feeding on it, right? But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law does he meditate day and night. He shall be like a tree. Now get this in your mind now. He shall be like a tree. Do y'all want your business to sound like this? He shall be like a tree that's planted by the rivers of the water, that brings forth fruit in his season. His leaf shall not wither, and whatsoever he does shall prosper. Whatsoever he does. Like that's a verse that I would like I would think about just having a talk with God, saying, hey God, I think I'm gonna stand on that thing. Like I'm gonna see if that's true. Like I'm gonna do those things that you said in that verse, and I'm just gonna see, man. Because I tell you, I'd love that. I'd love for that to be a picture of my life right there. So why are you growing? Well, it's probably because you're doing at least one or two of the three things really good. Maybe you're kind of at a plateau in your business, and maybe I just encourage you to maybe go to the next level. Maybe you've gotten to a certain level in your career, really just through physical work. Maybe right now you need to go work on yourself a little bit. You need to have 2 or 3 deer sessions a day where you drop everything and read, right? Deer time, drop everything and read. Pick up these books, man. Just read, man. Reading fertilizes your brain. It's a performance enhancing drug, dude. Really dive in and develop skill with people. Develop that magnetic personality. Learn how to make people feel important. Learn how to raise people up. Learn how to appreciate people and watch people, how they just want to come around you. And maybe you're just at a point in time where you got to grow spiritually. There's just no two ways about it. And here's the thing. My job's not to make you comfortable. My job is to keep reminding you of the mission. And the mission, whether you like it or not, the mission is you do have personal responsibility to grow. We have personal responsibility to grow. Business builders. That's us. Like we're the Marine Corps. We're the Green Berets or the Navy SEALs or the whatever. I mean, we're kind of that elite cut out amongst the elite. If you look at all the field underwriters out there, I mean, they're pretty amazing people. But there's some of them that have a heart to build, and there's some of them that don't. And the ones that don't, hey, man, more power to you. Man, knock them out. You're awesome. But those of you guys that have been burdened with a dream, and what I'm talking about tonight, it makes sense to you because I'm talking your language. See, there's some people that are listening to this that shouldn't even be on this. I guarantee you, like I'm speaking Greek. Like they don't have any idea. They just like, hey, John, can I get off real quick? And I got to get up early and I got to go run a couple of appointments. Like they don't even get it. But for those of you guys that do get it, seriously, like we only need 4 or 5 of us to be able to go out there and fill a coliseum full of people and change lives. And for those of us that'll really go out there and go all in, for those of us that'll take tonight as a wake-up call and realize that, you know what, if I'm growing, there's 3 ways, there's 3 growth things. There's mentally, and then there's physically, and there's spiritually. There's mentally, there's the physical growth, there's the personal growth, and then there's the spiritual growth. I will guarantee you this. I will guarantee you this. And this is the last thing I'll say tonight about the spiritual stuff, but I will guarantee you this. You're not going to live, your physical body is not going to live forever. Your soul will live forever. And I do hope my influence in your life, I do hope that it inspires you to deal with that. However you need to deal with it, I hope you deal with it, because that's the most important thing in the world to me. I hope tonight is somewhat of a wake-up call. I do feel like, and I have said this time and time again, I do feel like that we've got the most talented business builders in all of Equus. Like, guys, I've traveled around. I've met the sharpest of the sharp, and I feel like that this team has been blessed, abundantly blessed, with a talent level. And I'm going to continue to do these Monday night builders trainings. I may stop doing the opportunity meeting. We're not getting a lot of new people in our opportunity meetings anymore. And that's fine. Listen, it's not, like I told our leaders in a text message, I don't think there's anything magical about plugging your people in at 9 o'clock. I do feel like the summertime, it gets harder and harder to plug people in at 9 o'clock. So I may just go ahead and just not do that anymore. If you guys want to send out one of the videos, like I think Brad will capture tonight. I really did like tonight's opportunity. So maybe you can take and like this was the latest video or this was the latest Zoom, and maybe you can just now send that to people and let them look at it. But Monday nights, I am going to continue to do some sort of builders training. My passion is renewed. I'm just telling you guys, the last couple of weeks, just some of the thoughts that I've had, I'm so fired up. I'm so excited. I know that I'm going through a transition in my business. I'm finding it harder and harder to go out there and do what I think is leading from the front. It's more burdensome now for me to go out there and try to get 10 sits or 8 to 10 sits a week, which I know is what I need. But I will tell you that I'm absolutely in love with what I'm doing right now, because I feel like I am having an impact. I feel like I'm having a personal impact in Michelle Padgett's business. I feel like I'm having a personal impact in Al Brown's business. I feel like I'm having a personal impact in Brian Nicely's business. And it's just so awesome to see these new people grow. I just want to do more of that. I'd love to, as I go into conference, I'd love to have 5 or 6 or 7 brand new names that I can mention, like those names. So, anyway, sorry for keeping you a little bit longer than I had wanted to tonight, but I'm going to see if there's any questions or comments really quick. I don't think there is. Okay, guys, if there is anything, don't hesitate to text me personally. I am excited about our Raleigh training this upcoming week. And as you guys heard, that was announced today, Pete Beckman and Eric Valdez, they're going to be partnered up and doing a training in Fayetteville. If I am in town, I definitely will be there at that training. And I will certainly be a part of that and be serving any way I can serve at that training, serving those great guys. That's what I'm going to be doing. So God bless you guys. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.